We see Shaun leave the comfort zone of the farm and have to go into the city to get his life back together again.
And what do you think the universal magic of Shaun is? Why is this a character that people seem to love all around the world?
We said it's a difficult question to answer because if we knew we'd be multi-millionaires, but there's no dialogue, which obviously helps, and I think slapstick comedy is universal, really. Any other things?
I think it's like there's something about Shaun is that he, as a character, he gets one up on humans, and I think that's like, but for kids, it's like he gets one up on adults, and I think I think that appeals to people as well. I think.
And obviously the film has all of our favourite characters and a few new faces as well. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the new people we're going to be experiencing this time?
Well, there's one of my favourites is a little orphan doggy called Slip, and it's kind of quite a staple of silent comedy or silent films to have a little orphan child or whatever. So it kind of pulls at the heartstrings a little bit. And she's a bit dentally challenged, and she kind of helps Shaun and befriend Shaun. So she's one of them. I like her.
Who's the villain of the piece?
The villain of the piece is basically a guy who is an animal containment officer. And his job is to catch animals. He's the kind of guy who failed to get into the police force, and he takes out his bitterness by bullying animals.
I guess my final question, have you got a message to fans about the future of Shaun and what we can expect from that?
Well, the future of Shaun is very healthy, he's alive and well, and we're doing a half hour next. There's more series work and hopefully another film, if this one does well.
There'll always be a place for claymation. It's a special thing, and I think people like to see it, and new generations will kind of come to it. And there's one thing about it, your brain when you watch claymation, it's real. It's real, and there's something about that. It gives it that little specialness, I think.
What is the magic of stop motion animation and Shaun, this character in particular?
Yeah, well, I think stop frame animation does. It depends how you do it, obviously. It can look rubbish, but I think if you do it well, it has a lot of charm. There's something about seeing that it's handmade and it's real, and even fingerprints sometimes on the plasticine. There's a certain appeal. I love CGI. We do a lot of CGI at Aardman, and I love it when it's done by people like Pixar and DreamWorks. I think we're just a different product, really, a different way of making films, and I think some types of humour lend themselves to this as well, or this technique brings out certain, like The Simpsons, for example. It wouldn't probably be as good if it was really elaborately done and like in a Disney-like way, because it's about horses for courses, really. I guess he's cute and he's a bit of a hero and he's quite naughty and a bit of a rascal, and it's a movie and there's lots of movie references, so there's like stuff for the kids and stuff for the adults at the same time. So it was the biggest challenge, really, how to tell a story. In a way, it's a kind of a pure form of storytelling, because it's like the old silent movies but without even the captions to show the dialogue. Where you have to say everything through the characters, through acting, actually, and not. So there's a lot of acting goes on in the animation, and it was a real challenge because often we would show it and think, I don't know what Shaun's thinking right now. I don't know what he's thinking. I don't know what he's feeling. So we need to go back and look at it and how can we improve it. So it was a long battle and done with great skill by the directors and the animators. I don't know at the moment. I think it's been quite a lot with Shaun having, quite enough with Shaun. So others could emerge, who knows? We don't want to be kind of seen as just trying to exploit every character, Unless if it lends itself to good stories, if it seems to have legs in itself, then yeah, but not to force it.
The idea for a movie's been around for ages. Richard Starzak, Golly, everybody calls him, kind of had the idea for a movie almost immediately. He did the series, and then about 7 years later we decided it'd be a good idea to do it. But we started talking seriously about 3.5 years ago, and we've turned the film around really quickly. So yeah, I thought we were crazy. You know, I've developed lots of stories over the years. I thought, no dialogue? We must be mad. But we worked very hard on it. And the first time we put it on story reels and actually saw it, we said we can do this. We felt, we don't need a narrator, we don't need anything else. And we felt it was really crucial to kind of stick to that formula. It's what everybody knows Shaun for, It's
interesting because the episodes are mini films anyway, the way we look at them. They all have a sort of beginning, middle and end. But obviously the feature film had a lot longer resting on it because it had to last 80 minutes. It had to have very intricate storylines so that you keep people watching, especially with no dialogue. Very difficult to get the ideas across without anyone telling you what to think. So it did take an awful lot of crafting to get it to that stage. We must have spent, 2 years getting it to a point where we felt confident enough to be able to shoot it.
Can you tell us how you got involved in the soundtrack for the film?
Yeah, they asked me and told me, because the song was already written and it kind of tells the story of the sheep going into the big city. Don't want to give too much away, but and they asked me to do it and I had a listen. I was like, this is brilliant, it's so much fun. And I took the music and just made it my own and reworked it and stuff. And it's been a real pleasure to be involved in it from such a kind of, not like from the beginning, rather than just them taking a song that I've already written. Yeah. Working on my album, I'd love to have something to hear in the summer, but no promises. I have to not rush it. Well, the best bit about where I am now is that I don't have a timeline. Like I have no pressure from anyone. I'm my own boss and I'm just kind of making sure that I get it right. But obviously I always put a bit of pressure on myself and you can't take too long with these things. So I'm hoping I'll have something to play in summer, but definitely before the end of the year. I don't want to rush it though. I just really want it to be something that comes from a really pure place and just like I think this is gonna be the album that I love the most. I think out of I've only done 2, but do you know what I mean? I'm really making the music that I think I kind of grew up on. I'm getting in touch with that more than I ever have.
You talk about the music you grew up with. Are there a particular artist you're listening to, things that are inspiring you at the moment?
There are, but I don't want to give anything away. I'm like, it's still kind of very new, very early days, and it might even change by the time I get it out to you, so yeah.
Is there anything you do when you're in the studio that really helps you kind of, get in that space?
Coffee. I drink way too much coffee, but it always makes me... I feel like the songs are way better when I've had a bit too much coffee.
I mean, some artists are more comfortable in the studio, some are more at home on a live stage. What, for you, do you consider your home?
That's a really hard question because I do love creating the music, and I think without that, you wouldn't have the live show. So I think it's all about that, recreating that moment you have in the studio on stage to the audience and like really kind of sharing that with everyone. And in a way, you can't have one without the other. So I like to answer that question like that because they're both my homes, definitely, just as amazing as each other. There's so many people. The thing about me is that I love so many different types of music and different artists, and it's never like just one genre or anything. I mean, I don't even really believe in that word. I love just like things that stand out and are unique. So like I'm always up for getting my head together with someone else's head and seeing what comes out. From this year, so far, I'm really loving... there's these 2 girls called Ibeyi. I think that's how you say their name. And I love their whole thing. It's really cool. It's just very original, like the way it sounds, very sparse, not too much going on. You can hear every instrument in the music, and I love that. It's really cool. They're probably my favourite so far. We'll see. It's the beginning of the year. There'll be lots more great music, I hope. I haven't thought about a project that hasn't already come up with, but I definitely want to be involved in more movies and films. And I mean, my dream is to like actually be able to score a film, maybe when I'm a bit older, and I take my pop star shoes off and do something, stuff that's more grown-up sounding.
You got a message for fans?
Yeah, just keep your eyes and ears open for new music from me, and yeah, it will be coming soon.
Well, they asked us and we really, really wanted to do it. It was a no-brainer. Like, Anything to do with film, we're really excited by. Collaborate that with music, we're even more excited by that. And yeah, the Aardman kind of. Some of the voices just. Kind of we grew up watching Wallace and Gromit and everything. It was easy, very easy decision to make.
They've just got a completely unique look. Like, obviously, you see it, you're like, you know exactly what Aardman are doing. And it's the very British style of comedy. Like, you watch it back, you watch back a Wallace and Gromit that you loved for a completely different reason when as a kid. You watch it back now and there's like very dry humour. I just love it. I just love what it epitomises. And Shaun, Close Shave was my favourite Wallace and Gromit film. I didn't even know he killed it. I didn't even know he was doing so well. They're like, Shaun the Sheep. I was like, oh, yeah, Shaun, he's got his own TV show. Typed it in, I was like, it's Shaun, it's the sheep. Love him. It's the sheep from Wallace. Yeah, love him.
Said you guys love film, you're both moving into acting in different ways. What's coming up for you on that side of things?
Men in Black 4, wasn't it? Men in Black 4. Men in Black 4. A House Party 3 as well. What else? Rush Hour 4?
No.
Pretty much any, no. Point Blank London.
Yeah, a few things.
If there's a generic sequel, Rizzle Kicks will be involved.
Any duo. Bad Boys 7, they just skipped 4. 2, 5. Bad Boys 7 we're doing. Just any duo. We're doing.
Boys in the Hood 2.
No, they're not a duo,
Yeah, they are.
Well, 2 there, but there's like 4 characters.
The main 2.
Yeah, just anything. Fun Jump 2. I'm gonna be Woody Harrelson. Yeah.
I'm Wes.
You got a message for fans real quick before you leave us?
Yeah. Oh, just like hold tight because we've got some like new music coming.
Fantastic.